G'day everyone, this is Steve Bell on the 2nd of August 2016. This is going to be I think it's my week 5 update, and it's also going to be my first month update. So start with all the figures first, and I'll probably put them up there later. So my surgery date, which my highest weight was 155.5 kilos, which is 343 pounds, and that was back in May this year. And I had my surgery on the 28th of June this year, and I did my weigh-in yesterday morning, and I hit the 129.8 kilos, so I'm now under 130 kilos. So, which is 286.2 pounds, which means I've had a total weight loss of 25.2 kilos, or 56.8 pounds, or 14.2 kilos since surgery, or 31.3 pounds since surgery. That's getting a bit longer, those figures. But I thought I'd let you know a bit of a kind of my month update from in the sense of dimensions, and I'm only focusing on 3 dimensions, which is my waist, my hips, and my neck. So, and I've never actually given you my height, but I'm about 6'1", or it's about 182 centimeters. So my waist my highest waist was 122 centimeters, and my waist now is 115 centimeters. So I've actually lost about 7 centimeters around my waist. My hips, I was 138 centimeters, and I've now dropped down to 123 centimeters. So I've dropped about 15 centimeters there. And my neck, I've gone from a 54 around my neck, and now hit 47.6. Oh, it's 47.5. So I've dropped about 6.5 centimeters around my neck. So pretty stoked about all those figures. So I think for people who watch been watching my videos for a while, I thought I had a little bit of a kind of slowdown 2 weeks ago, which was I slowed down 1.4 kilos, but that rose again a little bit this week, which was up to 2.2 kilos, which I'm really stoked about. And keeping with my theme of with the WWE feel, I've now hit Brock Lesnar stage. So that's for all the WWE and the UFC fans, which is 186 pounds. And I was thinking about some of the videos that I watched, and especially TJ made a couple of comments about how in the States the only thing that's talked about in kilos is drugs. Well, it's quite interesting, because I think that's the reverse in Australia. The only thing we talk about in pounds is drugs also. So yes, I thought that was a bit of a kind of funny thing. So this week been an interesting week. So there's been I had my appointment with my dietitian for my 4-week update, which was really good. So, and that actually came to the conclusion of my 4-week liquid diet, which I was pretty stoked about. But it was really funny, because I was pretty stoked about it, but ended up having a soup on Wednesday night anyway. So, and the interesting thing that my dietitian's been going through, and I think I've said this in my videos, is I think the weight loss surgery, the centre that I went through, which is the Heidelberg Weight Loss Centre in Melbourne, and Kieran Barty was my surgeon. Well, the clinic actually has everything on the same site. So we've got the surgeons in there, the dietitians in there, the psychologist is in there, and it's all in one centre, which is fantastic. And also getting to know some of the other nurse registers in there and that kind of stuff. So they've been an absolutely fantastic kind of surgery. So for people who are from Melbourne and they are looking for a surgeon and they're looking for a clinic, I would really recommend Heidelberg Weight Loss Centre, because I think that they really take a lot of time to actually focus on making you feel special a little bit. So, I mean, I had the situation that originally when I went and saw them back in January, I pretty much said to them at the end of the day, look, my wife was due to have have a baby in March, and I really didn't want to do anything until after March. And so when I called them back in late March, and I rang and went and saw them and had to go back to see Kieran to book in to get a date and all that kind of stuff, the nurse register and the receptionist was actually asking me, oh, how's your wife, how'd the baby go, and all that kind of stuff. So they'd actually, it's probably little things they'd got on my file and typed in baby and all that kind of stuff, but it's just the little things that they've really taken a bit of an interest in where I'm going. And even when I was going through the pre-diet, I actually called them a couple of times on a couple of things, and they've always been fantastic, and they always really, you feel like you're actually really, it's not like going to the GP where you're just a number and you get a number to go to. They're really looking out for you. But getting back to the dietitian appointment, so it was really interesting talking to her about the next stages of their recommendation. Is they go on to mushy for a week, then go on to soft foods for a week, and then go on to normal foods from then onwards. But her view was actually a little bit, she agreed with that, but she was also pushing in the sense of saying, look, you should be actually having normal foods now, but it's really just the texture you have through those 3 stages. So in the sense of it's really how much you actually blitz it. So the normal foods, when you can make those as soft foods, so just blitzing them a little bit, but then actually taking them back to the next step of being a mushy food, just blitzing them a little bit more. But she also made the comment of actually trying to try new foods and see how you go with them. So I've actually been doing a lot of trying of new foods this week. One of the things that I was dying to have through the liquid phase was eggs, because I like it. A lot of the time, if I get a chance, I'll have an egg in the morning. So I normally have a poached egg, which I do in the microwave. I've got a little egg container, which in the past it's got room for 2 eggs to do. And what I've actually been doing with that container is actually poaching 1 egg, and then just getting a handful of spinach and throwing that in the other side of the container, closing it up, microwaving it, and then actually just having the spinach on the bottom, and then having the egg on the top. And that's been really nice. That's been great, and just feeling like I can have something. It's been and then been trying out other things like having bolognese sauce on mashed potatoes. I even, when I was one of my outlets for getting out each week is going to the football with a couple of mates, and we've traditionally always gone to a hamburger joint before we've gone to the game, and there's a hamburger joint that we go to at Southern Cross Station called Grilled, and they offer healthy hamburgers, or healthy as you can with a hamburger, and they're nice quality hamburgers. And but they also offer sliders. So I was leading up to going to the football last Saturday night with my 2 best mates, and I was thinking, well, what am I going to do when I go? It's going to be the first time I've actually eaten out, and I thought, look, what I might do is actually I'll order a couple of sliders. I could order 2 sliders, and they were probably no bigger than probably my fist size, so they're probably not even. So they're really quite small kind of sliders, about that size, and probably about an inch or 2 across. So they're not very big hamburgers. And what I actually thought was, well, I might and I'm still trying breads, and I've still been really trying to stay off the breads and trying to keep a low carb kind of diet at the moment. And also one of the things that my dietitian had said, look, probably not this week, but probably next week when we go to soft food, it's probably worth trying toast, and but make sure you have toast. Don't have it as fresh bread, because if you have it as fresh bread, the bread kind of will shrink, will combine in your stomach and really take over your stomach. So she said, look, if you have it as a toast and have it as a little bit more, so it is quite a little bit of a brown in the toast, it's actually a little bit crunchy, and then it'll still break down. It'll break down in your stomach. So when we were at the hamburger joint the other night, I thought, look, I won't have the rolls. So what I did was open the hamburger, literally got the patty, had the patty, and it was not very big. I thought, yeah, cool. That went down. It took really small bites and really took my time with it, and really it was pretty good. Then I looked at the second slider and thinking, I'm not sure if I need it, but I'll just have a little bite. I had one bite and gone, no, I shouldn't have had that. So, and I felt really sore around my chest around there, and it was like a heartburn kind of feel to it. But so I'm trying to work out if that's the sign that I'll get because I'm full. I've eaten too much. Originally, I was thinking, it might be because I shouldn't have eaten that food, but I'm actually starting to realise that it may not be that I've not eaten, that my stomach and my esophagus isn't ready for that food. It's just saying you are full, you don't need any more. And it was really interesting because I had my two best mates there, and they had one of them hadn't seen me since surgery, and one of them I saw about 2 weeks out of surgery, and at that stage I was having a very, very little amount of soup, so probably a quarter of a cup of soup, and that was about it. So we're sitting there, and they've got their big hamburgers like this, and they had fries, and they had everything there. And I didn't have any of the fries. I didn't eat any of the fries. And I've had my little patty, and I had my second bite. That's enough. And one of them gone, is that it? And I said, yeah, that's all I need. That's all I don't need any more. And they're going, what? You're going to get hungry? And I said, no, I won't need any more. So, but it also prepared myself, knowing that I was going to be out for a lot of the night. So that we met at about 5 o'clock, and by the time the game was going to be finished and I was going to get home, it was probably going to be about 11:30. And I'm trying to run on that cycle of making sure I eat something every about 3 hours. But it was so in my bag I'd taken a little cooler bag, and it had some yogurt in there, and I even threw in one of my protein shakes from my pre-diet and things like that. So I'm thinking, look, if I do get hungry, I can make a protein shake, and bang, I can have that. Or if I've got a little yogurt to have, or something like that. But I didn't need any of them by the end of the night. That was great. It was great. So that was pretty much what happened. I hope you didn't lose anything there because my screen went a bit black. But that's what happened on Saturday night. So it was actually a good feel to be able to go out, and it was the first time that I really had enough energy to go out and go to the football, which is always a bit of my love on the weekends. So it's been a bit of a kind of interesting learning week for me. And one of the things that I also learned was by the end of my liquid diet, for me to get full in a meal, I was actually ending up having a soup, which was probably about a cupful, and it was slowly getting bigger. So I needed to feel full. And I said to the dietitian about this, and she says, well, as soon as you start having a little bit more lumpy food, or a bigger texture in your food, you're going to have to go backwards. You're going to feel full quicker. And bang, it happened. As soon as I started having, I think Thursday night, I was having some mashed potato and a little bit of bolognese, and I started eating away, and then bang, I felt I can't have any more. So it's been interesting. Like a kind of take a couple of steps forward in the sense if you feel you need to have a little bit more, but then you have to, while you're transitioning back into more solid food, kind of more a different texture of food, you feel like it's going to go back again. So it's been an interesting kind of week. And look, I have to say, most of this week I've been a little bit more conscious of trying different textures and things, and I've done really, really well. I think having that conservative 4 weeks of liquid diet, I haven't had some of the pressures that some people have, all the reactions with some foods that some other people have had. So it's been good. Fitness-wise, I've really tried to start doing a bit more fitness in the last week or so. So even though it's been absolutely freezing, cold, rainy, all that kind of stuff around Melbourne for the last couple of weeks, so it's been good. So I've been trying when I can get a chance. So trying to get out for a bit of a walk at work each day. So if it means going for a walk at lunchtime or going for a walk after work or something like that, just to get out, and even if it's just 20 minutes, half an hour, I've got a bit of a walking route that I've set up at work, and I might do a video while I'm doing that walk one day, because I know I was looking at some of the other videos, and Big V from Sydney. I remember watching some of his early videos and him going for walks. So it's been great. So, and even Saturday morning, my son had a class that he was going to, which we drop him off to, and then we'd pick him up about 50 to 60 minutes later, and on Saturday morning, and it's right next to a supermarket, which we normally, if myself or my wife who's taken Zave to that session, will normally go and do some shopping and that kind of stuff. I didn't have that much shopping to do on Saturday morning, so I went for a walk down the park, and I walked probably through about 3K, so probably about 2 miles. So which was good too, and I'm really enjoying starting to get into a bit more walking. And I've also we had a kettlebell that was hanging around home, so which I've been doing some YouTube clips of looking for some kettlebell exercises and doing some lifts and things like that. So just trying to get a bit more things like that. And I'm also looking at rejoining a local gym next week. So we've got a gym that's connected to us at work, and it will come out of my pay. So I need to go and have a chat to payroll and get it taken out of my pay, probably starting from next week, which will be good. And if I get back into that, then I can start doing some gym work, and also doing some swimming and things like that. Just it's a local leisure centre. So last week I talked about goals a little bit, and just saying, look, I'm not really sure where my goals are and things like that. And one of the things that I just thought I should recognise is one of my early goals was actually to get back to my weight that I was when we got married, and which is back in 2008. So yes, but my goal was to get back to that weight, and bang, I was about 131 kilos at that stage. I'm now below 130 kilos, which I'm really stoked about being below that weight. But it's also, I brought it up with the dietitian and saying, like, looking at some people's videos, and they're talking about the kind of weights and where they are at, and where they want their goal weights and all that kind of stuff. And I can't comprehend being anything less than 110 kilos. That's the lowest I've ever been as an adult. So, and at that stage I was doing triathlons. I was a summer there I did 6 triathlons, and also did a 15-kilometre fun run. So that's been kind of really, that's my key that I to get it to that point. And she goes, well, if you can't comprehend what's below that 110, don't worry about it. Just aim for 110. So, and she talked about in the sense of, don't worry about BMI. And we all say that. Don't worry about BMI. Let's worry about what means. It's a figure that's really, it's not a great figure to be running by. And I know, even at my 110, I'm still classed as obese in that kind of. I think I'm classed as obese, or I might be just classed as overweight at that stage. So, and that's fine. So look, I'm really not going to even focus on kind of my next goal. My goal for that will be 110, and if I get below that, well, great. And then I'll start maybe reevaluate where I'm up to with that kind of stuff. So, but even that 110, that's 19 kilos. That's about 19, 20 kilos off where I am at the moment. So let's see how it goes. So anyway, that's about it for this week, and it's probably been a long video, but I'm glad that hopefully people have hung out to this, and look forward to catching up with further, and see you later. Have a great week. Bye.